Welcome to another episode, everyone. Snoop from Rolling 60's Crip and his goons crashed out, spazzed out, and destroyed another member of the Rolling 60's Crip. This was really astonishing because the other member was a high-ranking member from Rolling 60's Crip. Indeed, and there was a lot of fallout and major blowback from this attack. Hell, it got Snoop really in a world of trouble. This transpired there in High Desert State Prison. And as I've said before, High Desert State Prison is indeed, at least at that time, perhaps even now, the worst prison, the most violent prison, and the worst in many ways in the state of California. I did 7 years there in High Desert State Prison. I did 11 years total on that bid. 7 of them were there in High Desert State Prison. The first level 4 yard I had been to was High Desert. I got introduced to a 4 yard brutally. I must preface the story with this because it's pertinent to the story. You must understand, I must set the scene for the atmosphere there in High Desert at this time, briefly. Now, Snoop from Rolling 60's Crip, when I got to the yard, upper yard, was because they have a lower yard, that's buildings 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they have a big wall, and behind that wall is the upper yard on the other side of that wall. And that will be buildings 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're on the upper yard. When I got there, fresh out of the hole, Snoop was already there and well established as the main individual on the yard, particularly for the neighborhoods. But really, he had sort of called himself calling shots for all of the blacks. Now, of course, the Bloods, they were not going for this. They have their own structure and their own hierarchy. Nevertheless, they did show respect to this individual because Snoop was in well with the police. In fact, this is where many of the problems came from. He was so well in with the police that you can go to the hole, he'll get you out of the hole. You get caught with a knife and be in the program office, he'll go to the program office with the police, the sergeant, lieutenants, and all that, holler at them, and you come back to the building. You don't go to the hole, you don't go to the shoe. He's really doing this for the neighborhoods. The police see him as the shot caller. He's telling the police he's the shot caller. He can get into any building on a yard. He can go to the lower yard. Like the Sereno shot caller, the white shot caller, they can all do the same thing. You'll see them coming in the building, the shot caller. Whenever there's a situation, even if there's not a situation, they'll come in, holler at their people. Snoop is doing all of this. And the neighborhood car is very deep on the yard, really, because they are accepting all kinds of people into the car, if I'm being honest. Some of these individuals are from other hoods, are out somewhere, but they're still sort of neighborhood. So Snoop has them all in there. They be out there in the yard having a big old meeting. Be 50 of them dudes out there. Snoop is at the head of the meeting. He's in a circle talking to everybody. Okay. Now, this is a level 4, 180 yard, maximum security. So you have to be careful with the moves that you're making with the police. Snoop has been doing this and with the police and essentially getting away with it because of all the power that he has with the police. The neighborhoods are really letting him slide, letting it be okay because he's providing a lot for them as well with this juice that he has with the administration. Another Rolling 60 member of high rank came to the yard. And when he got to the yard, within a few days, he said, something here is amiss. This is not the structure that I'm signing up for. What is this, bro? You're in too good with the police. You frolic around with the police a bit too much. We're not being taken serious by this administration with the moves that you're making. Now, Snoop was in the cell with Sly from 60's. I believe it was Tiny Sly from 60's. And they're both really making these moves together there on the yard. Now, I'm not indicating that they were doing anything wrong. Others had been indicating this, but they were on the yard, and they were still on the yard, and everything was cool until this high-ranking member from 60's hit the yard. I know for a fact he's a high-ranking member. I personally know of this individual. This is why I was shocked when this whole incident transpired. Now, getting to the incident, so he hits the yard. And he doesn't like the structure that he's seeing. He makes his feelings clear, explicitly. He doesn't hide anything or hold back. He told Snoop, bro, you making too many moves with the police. Something here is awry. Now, I'm not accusing you of anything. Nevertheless, out of respect for our car and how we expect to be respected and viewed on this yard, you need to simmer down with the po-po. In fact, he essentially told Snoop in so many words that he was going to take over. That he was now going to be the man on the yard, particularly as it related to the Rolling 60's, or the neighborhood car, not the Rolling 60's, bro. The neighborhood car. And again, it's a lot. I can name so many of them right now. I'm going to keep their names out of it. Yes, I named Snoop and Sly. I have my reason, whatever. I'm going to keep everyone else's name out of it because they may still get in trouble for this act of treason. And so he told Snoop he was going to take over the yard. He had enough rank, really, to do just that. Snoop knew that. He understood that. But everyone, nearly, is on Snoop's side because of the power that he possesses, again, with the administration. And he has power within his car, within his faction. He has a lot of stuff going on because he's a shot caller. He can get to the other yard. He can grab stuff. So he get knives, making sure his people got knives. He making sure they got money, making sure they have drugs. He got his hands in everything. So he's feeding the crew, keeping them all happy. This is important if you're going to call yourself calling shots over these individuals. You don't want to draw the ire of them by being frugal and parsimonious. You have to be generous. Make sure that the team is fed. Snoop understood the concept. So when the other individual from the other high-ranking individual from Rolling 60's was pressing his line, the neighborhood car had a decision to make. Who are they going to ride with? Again, this individual is reputable. He is someone, but he just hit this yard. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything going. He doesn't have any power with the administration. He can't get people out of the hole. He can't stop people from going to the hole. He can't come to your building and get this package and take it to the other yard. Snoop can. A tough decision, apparently, indeed, for these individuals. Nevertheless, Snoop let him know he's not taking over anything. And that his relationship with the police, his rapport with the police was necessary. It was prudent in order for him to be mobile, to be able to move from building to building, yard to yard, and take care of the business as it relates to the neighborhood car. He was doing this for them. That answer did not necessarily suffice with the high-ranking member. but they carried on, business as usual. But they were butting heads. There was tension on the yard between these two individuals. Some individuals from neighborhood are looking up to this high-ranking member. Some of them agree with him. They have been agreeing with the situation that Snoop was going a bit too far with the feds. And they didn't transgress upon him simply because of the power that he possessed. They needed him, for one. Incident came about between an individual from neighborhood and the blood. A deal gone bad. Snoop told the individual from neighborhood to handle it in this particular way, whichever way that was. But when he went to go handle it in that way, the high-ranking member from 60's told him, no, do not handle it in that way, bro. Don't do anything. I'll take care of it, essentially. This got back to Snoop that his power and authority had just been threatened and undermined. He had had enough. The decision was made, the die was cast. It was time to remove the high-ranking member from rolling 60's in the most brutal of fashions because, again, there on the yard in high desert, there were times when it was a weapons-only yard. There would be no fighting. You would have to use a weapon anytime there was going to be an attack. We all knew what was coming. Snoop began to have sinister machinations. He began to plot on the high-ranking member. Now, again, Snoop, he has rank as well, particularly here on the yard. He has all of the rank. He's not some nobody, but this individual is somebody. And I just could not believe that they were going to pull off this caper and attack this individual. But they did. Because Snoop had convinced the crew that this individual was poisonous. He was toxic to what it is that they were trying to accomplish, to the respect that they had already established on the yard. This individual was coming, trying to circumvent that. He's undermining everything that we have going on because he has a problem with me and he wants to be in my position. Now, what are we going to do about this? Now he's undermining me. I'm the shot caller. We got to get him. That's it. He got to go now. Snoop, I'm sure it felt like his power was indeed hanging in the balance. If he did not make a move, certainly the member was going to take over. It was coming. This is what he was vying for. Snoop understood the assignment. Came out to the yard. Now, I'd already caught wind. Won't get into how I caught wind. I'm really still trying to be careful even with this story, I promise. I caught wind that they were going to get this individual on the yard that day. Like the next day, like that morning, I caught wind that night. When I came out to the yard that morning, they confirmed it. We're about to do a removal. Someone's about to get up out of here. I already knew who it was. But I knew that he wasn't about to go down easy. This dude is someone. He's a rider. He's certainly going to have his weapon with him. It's a weapons-only yard. Me and my crew, we go over there by the pull-up bars. And we're just looking, but there's nothing to see here, folks. this is business as usual. This is the sort of thing, this is the sort of occurrence that transpires every day on these yards, literally. Yard down every day will fracture your soul, present you with immense turmoil if you're not strong and if you're not careful. They're over there on the pull-up bars. We're looking essentially out of the corner of our eyes. We don't want to draw too much attention to the situation. I want to see how this is about to carry out. The high-ranking member from 60's is essentially in the middle of the yard. But he had a few members around him like he normally does. I'm wondering, are they in on it? Do they know, or do they know what's about to happen? They have to know. They have to be in agreement with this, I'm assuming, but whatever. Right there on the pull-up bar, he's right there with some members. Snoop himself and about 10 other neighborhoods. From different hoods. There was some 60's as well, though, in the group. They start approaching. They start walking in the middle of the yard straight towards the dude. They're not hesitating. Now, again, Snoop has so much juice there that he can literally tell the police about to take care of some business. And that's that. Basically, turn y'all head. I mean, they still gonna have to run on the yard. They can't just, they are not about to allow him to just kill someone out there. But he can get away with a lot. The whole car is getting away with a lot of stuff there on the yard because of Snoop. So I'm looking at the police. I'm looking at the gun towers. I'm saying, do they see what I see? These dudes walking over here rapidly. They all got their hands right here in their pants, all of them. They're about to whip out. They all got the blinkies. They all got the blammers. I said, these dudes trip. They finna get on this dude like that? They about to get on this dude like that. They finna whip out on him. And once you whip out, you have to use it. That's also a rule. The police are nowhere to be found. I'm looking at the towers. It's as if they are not at work. Where are they? They're missing. It's ghost-like out there as far as the police are concerned. They've all turned their heads. These individuals are walking briskly towards the target, and they get up on him and whip out. All of them. I remember the homie was sitting right next to me or standing right next to me. He's like, damn, bro, damn. These dudes finna get out. Like, yeah, these dudes. Whoa, because I didn't see that one coming. I'm thinking maybe they're going to, beat on him. Maybe one dude might whip out or something. Man, all these dudes got blammers. They riding with Snoop. They whip out and they get on him. But the member, as expected, he whipped out as well. And he's swinging this thing indiscriminately. He's trying to hit anyone in the vicinity. And he hit a couple of them. He swung back. He hit a couple of them. But he couldn't handle it. There were too many of them. They socked him, stabbed him, got him to the ground. When he got to the ground, he ain't ball up and all this, curl up. He didn't go into the fetal position. He on the ground. He trying to block the thrust and these knives coming at him and these fists and feet with one hand and arm. And he got his knife in the other and he's still swinging. Trying to hit him in the leg and all. He down on the ground. He's swinging. He going out like a champ. As I expected. You don't build a reputation like that for nothing out of nowhere. He's a strong individual, but still no match for the animalistic nature of the individuals who were attacking him. Eventually, he dropped his knife. He couldn't swing anymore. He just started holding his sides. He leaking. And finally, they let up off of him. The police still hasn't hit the alarm. They still have not hit the alarm. They still ain't seen nothing. It's 10 dudes on this dude in the middle of the yard. People start whispering after this situation. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to let you know of it. People start the fallout that happened with this. People start whispering. Like, how could they do this and get away with it in the middle of the yard? This dude doing way too much, bro. This is why this dude came to try to take over. He silenced him because they left him right there leaking. He basically just got on, walked away. Finally, as he's down there bleeding out, you hear, "Get down, get down, get down." No one is over there near him. Of course, no one wants to be a part of this. It's no one's business. He's down there bleeding by himself on the yard, in the middle of the yard. Finally, the police see him, one of the towers, get on the microphone, "Get down," hit the alarm. You hear the alarm going on. Sound like police sirens, essentially. For lack of a better analogy in the moment, sounds like the yard alarm. You know something's going on. You hear it when you're in your cell. You hear it when you're in the yard. You hear it if you're in the law library, if you're at canteen, if you're in the visiting area. You hear it wherever you're at because they have them everywhere. And when that one alarm hits, you're going to hear it everywhere. And you're going to see the police converging and rushing to wherever the alarm is at. So finally they hit the alarm. "Get down, get down." Everybody get down. He out there. My guy out there, he laid out, bro. He leaking and laid out. He is moving, but barely. He's in bad shape. The police converge on him, the nurses and all that. They put him on a stretcher and take him out. They call yard recall, because again, they didn't find, they didn't catch the individuals that did it. Well, they don't know who did it. Let them tell it. They don't know what happened. So everybody got to go back to their cell until we figure this whole thing out. Yard recall, he was going off the yard, and the other individuals were still on the yard. Never went to the hole, never got found out. Any of that. But there was indeed a fallout. There was indeed blowback for what some may call a very ill-advised decision on the part of Snoop. In a thirst to maintain his power, cut down a high-ranking member and had other members complicit in the debauchery. Well, oftentimes there will be hell to pay for such a fateful decision. Such was the case here. I may do a part two because I never planned on doing a part two, actually. That's what happened. They got him off the yard. Oh boy came to the yard, but it's worthy of a part two because I do want to let y'all know what happened. After this, it was some aftermath. I was thinking about this last night. It was some aftermath. It got kind of ugly on that yard after this situation. Some people were upset. Some neighborhoods were upset. They were in total disagreement with this decision. Sometimes Snoop and his authority was insufferable. wanted to push his power and let it be known that this is the decision that was made and that was that. But really, was it that was that? Not so much, not so fast. They got him off the yard. He left leaking. He survived the attack. Nevertheless, he had a lot of individuals that love him. They want to get back. He wanted to get back. He felt like he had done nothing wrong. Other people felt like he had done nothing wrong to deserve that. But so it was really not what he had done. It was really Snoop was in power. He felt threatened by this individual, probably physically threatened. His power was unequivocally threatened. He felt like, I got to make a move. He influenced these individuals to ride with him. How he did that, I don't know. What he told them, how he got in their ear, what was really happening in their car, I don't know everything that was going on in there. I don't know everything that this individual was providing to them to make them ride with him, show this level of fealty to him as opposed to this high-ranking member. I don't know. But they did it. That wasn't the end of it. I'll stop. I'm not trying to tease y'all. Nothing. I'll decide if I'm gonna do a part 2 if it's worth it. To let y'all know exactly what happened. Maybe I will, because it was a bit of a blowout after that, bro. Things got a bit out of hand there on the yard. But again, high desert, man. It was vicious. It's extremely violent. It's just unforgiving. It doesn't let up. And every car there, every faction, every ethnicity, it's going to hold your feet to the fire. Every single one of them. There are no at this time, there were no soft cars, no soft individuals there. Everyone was taking care of business. Everyone. I mean, it's a shock to the senses being on a yard like that. Because the violence besets you, is there every day, all day, and the threat of violence is always there, even if you're not doing anything wrong. You just can't get a moment's peace, a moment's rest in there mentally. Constantly on the lookout for your own life, self-preservation. Shout out to Snoop from 60's. I ain't got no problem with him. He was good with me. This wasn't my business or my fight. Him talk, we conversed on the yard all of the time. Sly as well as Sally. We were cool. But I'm not, can't get into what happened as far as my opinion on it. That was their business. I'm just relaying what happened. This is my life and my life story. And I lived it. So if I lived it, I can speak on it. And that's the way it is, damn it. Stay safe and stay free, people.